Attention all altcoin holders, traders, and investors. Altcoins are about to do something that they haven't done in almost 1,500 days. And there's a signal right here in this chart that I'm going to tell you today that will let you know exactly when this enormous event is going to happen. Something that altcoins have never done in the history of altcoins, and something that they've been trying to do for 1,500 days, but they keep failing. Every single time the altcoins are failing and failing and failing over the last 1,500 days. And all of that could be about to change with one huge thing in the chart, and I'm about to unveil it. Let's get into it. Warning, time is running out. The sale is about to end. Don't miss out. 97% lose it all at the top. Here's how the top 3% nailed the perfect exit. You will get your best exit ever, or you get a full refund. This 5-day masterclass gives you the exact system to exit altcoins and Bitcoins like a pro before the crash. 100% money back guarantee. Watch anytime from any device at your own speed. Plus unlimited support if you ever get stuck. Save an extra $500 when you pay with crypto. Clock is ticking. Get instant access now. CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Again, that's CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Don't miss out. Clock is ticking. So here we are. We're on the total market cap excluding Bitcoin. In other words, this one simple chart right here encompasses all of the altcoins on planet Earth in one simple chart. When we put it on one simple chart, we can see a couple things right off the bat. Number one, we have this crazy chart formation here, which we're about to get to. Number two, 1,500 days of pain and getting beat over the head and failure. We're going to get to that as well. And then number three, there's a star of the show that is waiting patiently in the bushes and waiting to jump out and absolutely take the world by storm, bringing altcoins to a place they have never been to before and have failed at trying for the past 1,500 days. So let's get to each of those data points in today's video, and let's back it up with bona fide facts, and let's start with price action. So what you can see with price action is we had this period back in the day, right? 2018, 2017, we had this pretty large rally up, and then you see we entered this bull flag. Okay, you can see the bull flag has resistance at the top, support at the bottom, bounces through multiple touch points at the top and the bottom, and then we had our double bottom, and then followed by explosion, and then the pattern repeats. We go into this bull flag, we have a double bottom, then we explode. It's a pretty simple game, right? And what you can see with this explosion that we had back in the prior cycle is it brought us up into this zone here. Now, what the problem is we are still having trouble with this exact zone, meaning 1,500 days ago, we came into this zone and we were hot. And we were the talk of the town. Altcoins was buzzing. Altcoins were on fire. And everybody was piling into altcoins. It's likely if you were in the market at the time, you were probably buying altcoins around April 21. You were probably buying more altcoins around August 21 and around November, December 21. You probably bought altcoins here. And if you did, you're just fine. Don't worry, this is a market cycle. Market cycles repeat, and long-term holders are always rewarded in crypto. Plain and simple for the history of crypto. In fact, I will extend that for stocks as well. Now, what you can see is that if you had bought here, I'm going to explain how it's been absolutely devastating for you since then. Why? Well, we had this bull flag, we had our double bottom, and we exploded back into the same price area. And meaning what you're holding right now in altcoins is probably around the price you bought in 2021. And that's probably been very stressful because we're near the tail end of this bull run. And you're wondering like, what the hell? Where did I go wrong? What we've done with altcoins is we had our bull flag, we had our double bottom, bottom one, bottom two, It's a beautiful thing. Market structure is a beautiful thing. It happened to be the exact same market structure as the prior cycle. Everybody always says this time is different. It's never different. Repeatable patterns do what they do best. They repeat. Now, from there, we had an explosion, but markets react the same all the time. Whenever you have a prior resistance zone, it's going to be a resistance zone now until it proves it as support. And we have yet to even come close to that. Meaning, once altcoins really explode, we're going to hold this line right here of 1.7 trillion as support, which we haven't even come close to yet. But that's going to be a point in time where altcoins will explode. Your favorite altcoins will explode when that happens. And it is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Is it going to happen in this cycle, or is it going to happen in the next cycle? We'll get into that. So what you see is you want to look for big wicks, okay? Case in point, introducing big wick number 1, August 2024. You could see that the market was heading down. We needed a big wick to help us turn the corner. Keep in mind, these are weekly candles. So week after week after week, we're just getting beat over the head. We're going down, 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 down. We have this huge wick. Wick tells us what? Wick tells us there was a lot of buying pressure here, which closed us up here. You want to look for a big wick to turn the corner, okay? So why do I say that? Well, we just had a big old wick, right? We just had this big old wick here, and we want to turn a corner. So we do have some momentum on our side, okay? Now, you can see that we were just in that resistance zone, the same resistance zone of Christmas time 24 and the same resistance zone of our top in 2021, and then we had this big wick. Okay, now we're starting to understand price action. We know that this chart represents all altcoins. Bitcoin is not included. Now, what helped us turn the corner? Because I sat here in this chair when everyone was freaking out about altcoins. And I said, we're waiting for one thing and one thing only, a stochastic RSI cross up, because that cross up is likely to bring us to our resistance zone again. So we sat here in March 2025 and we waited for the stochastic RSI cross. And what happened? Altcoins went from about 786 billion and they absolutely skyrocketed. It went more than double. Altcoins more than doubled with the simple stochastic RSI cross. Why is that important? We haven't had one since, and we have 2 per year, like clockwork, every single year. The one prior to that was in September 24, when altcoins were here and went to here, and the one before that was here, back in September 23. It loves September, by the way. When altcoins were about 500 billion and it went to about 1.25 trillion. So each stochastic RSI cross is literally the largest move of that year. And we have 2 crosses per year, like clockwork. So what are we waiting for now? We're waiting for more of the same, but we have one problem. We have one problem with the RSI, right? When you dig into the RSI, you can see we had a pivot high in March 24. And then a lower high in December 24, and then another lower high in August 25. This is not good because at the same time, we've had higher highs in the chart, meaning we've got bearish divergence, meaning it just matches Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been in bearish divergence for exactly the same time frames as we just discussed. So is this an anomaly? Is something tricky going on? No. The market is telling us that Bitcoin and altcoins still have bullish momentum, but there's starting to be more and more holes in our floor, and we better hope that floor doesn't break, because once it does, it's a free fall. That's what it's telling us. We still have a floor, but now we got some holes in that thing. We need to be careful, okay? So altcoins are waiting for one thing and one thing only, a stochastic RSI cross. It's likely that if we maintain market structure, things are going to be looking good, and I'll explain why. Well, what we have here is a formation, a triangle formation. You see we went up and then down, and then up and then down, and then up. You can see this triangle right here. Okay, you don't have to be a math wizard to be able to recognize a triangle. You can see it on the chart. Now, when we have a triangle which has a straight line at the top and higher highs at the bottom, this is called an ascending triangle. Same resistance zone, but as we get into it, we do higher low, higher low, higher low. Case in point, this was our low, our next one was higher, our next one was higher, our next one was higher, and so far our next one is higher. That is a bullish sign, meaning we have continued higher lows into the same resistance zone. These typically break to the upside. Now, keep in mind, there are no certainties in charts. We can't say 100% of the time this breaks to the upside. That's an absolute lie. We would never do that. We can say the majority of the time they break to the upside. That's a fact. These like to break to the upside. Can they trick us and break to the downside? Sure. But they do that on smaller occasions. A wider occasion is a break to the upside. Now, at the same time that we have this formation, at the same time that we have 1,500 days of failing, we have a stochastic RSI brewing. We have bearish divergence that's here. We have all of these factors. And if altcoins hold this market structure and have a stochastic RSI cross, it's likely that that could be the absolute pinnacle point where we finally, after 1,500 days, break above 1.7 trillion and finally hold it as support. And once we do that, you're going to see this thing shoot up. It might not be for long, but this thing could explode. This has been a pressure cooker for 1,500 days, and this could be the shining moment for altcoins, which would lead us to the pinnacle top, which then, being that we have so many cracks in our floor already, that thing is about to break, and then we can have a free fall. But everything lies on the 1.7 trillion finally holding that as support, and the stochastic RSI and the weekly bringing us there. Warning, time is running out. The sale is about to end. Don't miss out. 97% lose it all at the top. Here's how the top 3% nailed the perfect exit. You will get your best exit ever, or you get a full refund. This 5-day masterclass gives you the exact system to exit altcoins and Bitcoins like a pro before the crash. 100% money back guarantee. Save an extra $500 when you pay with crypto. Clock is ticking. Get instant access now. CryptoCrewUniversity.com. Don't miss out. Clock is ticking.